Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John. In this video, I'm going to talk about my thoughts on the 4K of Friday the 13th and Friday the 13th Part 2. Also on this video, I'll be showing screenshots and I'll be talking a little bit about the Scream Factory box set. So first up is Friday the 13th. And when I heard this was coming out, I was really excited about it, especially the slipcover. I think the slipcover is absolutely perfect for this release. And I thought, yeah, I'm in for that. But I heard conflicting reports about it, so I hung fire on it and I just finally thought I'm just going to bite the bullet and get it. And it is what it is. Hopefully it'll be good. So I put this on, and what I will say, in my opinion, I will say that I think a lot of things talked about this isn't, in my estimation, as bad as people make out to be. I do think that it's got some grain in the skies. When you see the blue skies, you do get a bit of noisy grain in it on some parts. Now, what I've been able to do on my television, my Sony Bravia, what I do is I just go through the settings and just take it to a different, movie, or you have like custom or standard. Don't put on vivid, personally. So I found with this film, when I put it on the standard, I got the best results for those bright areas. Now, also, I will say that the dark levels on here, the black levels in here, are absolutely insane. It's just so black, and you can see every detail in it, and I was really blown away by that. I will agree with Nige, Rockgod 2004, link down below, when he said this was a bit dark. It is darker than the Blu-ray or all the previous releases, and you do know that the 4K counterparts are usually darker. But this, and the reason why I noticed that was because at the start of Friday the 13th Part 2, it does show you the flashbacks to Friday the 13th, and they are lighter than they are in this version. Now, so for me, this is a darker look at this movie. Now, in my personal opinion, I do agree with Keith from Euphoria Pictures, link down below to his channel, that it doesn't detract in my viewing pleasure. Now I started to watch Friday the 13th from the start. I was going to do a re-ranking very soon after doing my original ranking, which was about a year ago. I can't believe it. But now I'm going to watch these now. I'm up to about Friday the 13th Part 6 now. And I'm going to do a fresh re-ranking of how they sit in my mind. If you want to see where I ranked Friday the 13th a year ago, take a look at that link down below. I watched this one and I had a blast with it. It's my favorite franchise of all time. I love Friday the 13th from start to finish, pretty much. But more about that when I do the re-ranking. And this one here, for me, I didn't mind the fact it was darker. I'm not saying it wasn't darker. And also those noisy skies, it didn't bother me in the slightest. I did find when I changed my settings, the noise kind of went. It wasn't in your face, but on one of the settings, I don't know which one it was. I think it was movie, or was it probably custom? It was quite noticeable. So I can understand when somebody had said that happens, but sometimes if you've got this one here, and you're watching it and you think it was a bit noisy. I couldn't adjust the darkness levels on it because the darkness is what it is. That's the way the color graded it, and it is a darker movie for that. But I have got the Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray is light if I wanted to see a lighter version of it, and the 4K remaster on the Scream Factory box set looks absolutely sensational. So it's not as if you're losing much quality from this when you watch this one. But I will say the black levels on here are absolutely insane, in my opinion. So I do recommend picking this one up. I was really impressed by it. And also, talking about this one, you might think, well, I've got this one now. Is this box set redundant? Well, I will say it's not, because there is certain things on this box set that aren't available on these 4Ks or the English counterparts. So I do say to stick with this one, and I am watching. I've got 1 and 2 on 4K, so I'm watching the rest of them on these remastered. But the 4K remastered some of them, and they look absolutely sensational. So this set is not to be, disregarded in any shape or form. It is just absolutely amazing, and I can't believe I've left it this long to get into it. So mainly this disc is quite the same with the extras. But what you can notice is there's no Blu-ray included with this. So if you want a Blu-ray counterpart, we've got it in here. So for me, what I've done is, I think, with these 4Ks, and anything that comes out in 4K from Friday the 13th, I will get. It's just a no-brainer for me. I like it that much. I will double dip, well, treble dip. The thing is, with these lots, I think that this is the last ones I'm going to buy, and you can just settle down and watch them. Now, I do watch these usually once a year and have a blast with them, or every time I watch them. And what I would like to see is to stick to these covers, these original artworks. I think you can't go past them, and they're just absolutely brilliant. So this is the US 4K. It does play on my 4K player. There is no Blu-ray here. It has got a digital code. This is the US Blu-ray. It doesn't play. It's a region A lock one, so you have to have a multi-region if you want to watch them. But between these two, and between Crystal Lake Memories, the documentary, and also the red box that I've got with from the UK one, with all of Friday the 13th stuff on there, I think I've got everything that you can possibly imagine to have with Friday the 13th. So that's great. If you want to go through all the extras between all of them, you can get every single extra that's been released up until this point. So to recap, I really enjoyed watching this on 4K and I found it a great transfer. Yes, it's got a few issues, but I think you can get around it and you can also enjoy what you're seeing on the screen. So that's Friday the 13th. So as much as Friday the 13th 4K can divide some people, I've got to say when I put this on, Friday the 13th Part 2, I was absolutely blown away by this one. This is one of the best 4K horror films I have ever seen. And I tell you what, the reason why, well, I wasn't going to get the 4K of Friday the 13th because I thought I've got all these amazing stuff on there, 4K remastered Blu-ray. It looks sensational. I'll just leave it there. I'm not bothered. But when I walked past this one in HMV and I just saw this slip, I just thought I have got to get this one because this slip to me is just one of the best slips I've ever seen. It's just perfect. You can't get a better slip than that. So immediately I picked it up. I think this was about £24 or £23. And I put it on and I was thinking to myself, because I'd heard, like I say, conflicting reports about the first one, I thought, well, I kind of enjoy this, but I just wanted it for the slipcover. I just had to have it because I'm such a fan of this franchise. And this to me, like I said, they've got us, if they do these ones over here or in the US, I will pick them up, but I really hope that they do these ones like this. They have the original artwork on because I think it's just absolutely stunning. Yeah, it's not got much going on, but this is nostalgia. Fact that, 1,000, it's just absolutely brilliant. So put it on. And the reason why I want to go for the 4K one is because it's got the 4K flashbacks from the first movie, and the first movie looks absolutely sensational. It looked unbelievable. Now, that one looks good, but it's just a bit darker. That's, they are correct when they say it's a bit darker, but I didn't find that bother me at all. And this one here was just unbelievable for the flashbacks. So I thought, right, what does the movie look like? And it just looks sensational. The greens are just so vibrant because it takes place in the woods mainly. The colors of the clothes was just unbelievable. The sharpness, everything about it. It has been an honest transfer. There's no DNR, there's no AI or anything like that. They went back and they've done a spectacular job. Now I'm really hoping they can do the same with the other ones in the Scream Factory box set because they have got some stunning 4K masters there. Now, the other thing is who's going to release all these ones? I don't know. I know that Arrow, and they are starting to release a few of the later Friday the 13th. Now, that means that is great. I'm all for that. I just hope that none of them get stuck up in rights issues and they get like, you've got the whole lot apart from say part 8 or something, or part 7 can't get out, 6, whatever. It would be a real shame if that happened. I would like to think we would put them all out in the UK, or even in the US as well, share them with having, these covers on standalone ones, buy them all, they're all done, and it would be sensational to own them all on 4K for that option. Now, talking about extras on here, the Scream Factory Blu-ray here. Now I do like it's so pathetic really when you talk about it. I like the fact it's got part 2 on there in the Roman numerals. I think it looks better than part 2 with the actual numbers, but that's just personal preference. Still a great cover that. Now the extras on here are quite good. You get them there. They're on the Blu-ray, actually the Blu-ray counterpart. The Blu-ray looks like it's an older Blu-ray. It probably is the same Blu-ray that's in that red box set. And this one here has got different extras on. Mainly, it's also got, and this one doesn't have it, unfortunately. It doesn't mention it on here, which is crazy, when it has the uncut scenes, which were found on an old VHS. So you get the uncut scenes from here, which I'd never seen before. But unfortunately, it looks as if they'll never be of a certain quality to get these back into here. That didn't take away my enjoyment of this film. I do think it's a brilliant film. In fact, I don't know. Well, there is a few I don't like, but mainly I'm up to part 5 now. I've had a blast with them all, and it's been so great. I watched 4 of them in one day because once I get started with these, I can't put them down. That's the beauty of these ones. Some franchises, when you go near them, you kind of struggle getting through them, especially when it's got about 12 or 13 films. When I watch one, I've got to watch the next one. In fact, I got up this morning early just so I could watch another one, Friday the 13th, Part 5. Can't wait to watch Part 6. So, but this one here doesn't get talked about that much. I was thinking there would be a lot of people. When I walked in the shop and saw it, I thought, wow, is this out? It wasn't really talked about. And I went, picked it up, put it on, and I thought, this is so good. You would expect to see a lot of channels or even videos of people saying, this looks amazing. I can't believe how good this picture quality is in here. I mean, the black levels on it are absolutely insane. It's some of the best black levels I've ever seen. The colors on the clothing is crazy. It's not dark at all. I think it's the same lightness as part two, you would think, on the Blu-ray, because I checked this out in this Blu-ray. I watch the extras on here as well. So for me, this one here is one of the best ones to have this box for, because it's the only place you can find the uncut scenes at this point. I would love them to go back into the movie, but they didn't take anything away from it. I did really enjoy it, but it's a real shame that they can't have a super cut of this. But the quality will dip down massively from the 4K to that. It would like take you out of the film unless you put it on as a kind of daft extra. But yeah, it's one of the best 4Ks. Like I said, one of the best 4Ks I've seen this year. I was really stunned by it, and I was quite surprised by how good it looked. Because sometimes these Friday the 13th, they've never looked great. I find on VHS, especially they're always quite dark, and some of the ones you couldn't see what was going on. Now, when I've been looking through a slight spoiler alert, when I've been looking through all of these, the next one to be obviously done on 4K would be part three. Now, part three is going to be problematic because it was shot in 3D. And what I will say, when I watched it on the Scream Factory version, it was the best it's ever looked. It looked better than the red box version. And I had a great time with it. I mean, I had a great time with it anyway, but it does look in certain scenes blurry. Now, unfortunately, that's just what happens with these 3D movies. They just don't transfer very well. Now, they don't do 4K 3D movies. So if that was on 4K, I don't think you would get a 3D movie in 4K. They probably put it on there as a Blu-ray extra, which is a bit of a shame, but that just doesn't happen. That's just the way of the world. And I'll be really intrigued to see if they did that 4K, if they did the AI version of the 4K, because I don't think personally it'll ever scrub up that good. But I want to see it come out in 4K because it'd be terrible if you got the whole lot out and part three was just left off. It would be like missing on the shelf. And for a completist, that's one of the worst things that can happen when you're missing one title, especially it's one that I really like. So yeah, so I'm really intrigued to see how they're going to do that. Now I will say that their upgrade on the part three was really good, but it still did have that blurriness about it. But some of the scenes look pin sharp, and then the next scene would look really blurry. It was quite odd in that, but it's always been like that. It's always looked bad. So if you're a fan of Friday the 13th, this looks absolutely sensational. It set the benchmark what they can achieve with the 4K versions. Now, when I was looking through the Screen Factory set, I will say there was Blu-rays that looked better than the Friday the 13th Part 2 Blu-ray films. So if they can get them like that on the Blu-rays, they would look absolutely amazing. They would look better than this one. And if you get this one or you have got this one and you think this looks good, I do think there's better ones out there that will come down the line, which apart from three. And it's great to see these iconic franchises finally making it to 4K, like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. It's absolutely brilliant. This is a dream come true for us 4K collectors and 4K horror collectors. So, thanks for watching. You take care, and I'll see you later. Cheers.